playoffs. And yeah, they haven't clinched, but they're playing better defense and they're getting better play out of their goalie. And is Lyon a goalie that you're going to rely upon for years to come? Probably not.
Probably not.
But all you need is that guy you can rely on right now. In this moment or in a playoff run.
This is how I view goalies in the NHL. If you have an elite goalie, great. If you don't, you're probably better off giving yourself options. And I think that's what Yzerman did. They had Ville Husso, but they signed 2 goalies in the offseason. Carrying 3 is uncharacteristic, to say the least. But the thought was, we just need one guy to get hot. Husso took a step back, got hurt. Reimer wasn't great. Lyon stepped up, and he's been the guy. And maybe he is the guy going into the playoffs. But I think the point here is, they want to have options at that position because a hot goalie goes a long way. If you don't have one of the elite goalies, you don't have Hellebuck with the Winnipeg Jets, you don't have Aiden Hill with the Vegas Knights, Ottinger with the Stars. If you don't have one of the top guys, you got to find someone. And it looks like they found someone in Alex Lyon. It's 97.1.
Hey, it only takes an instant, and an auto accident can put you in the worst financial position of your life. It is a must to hire the right lawyer who will make sure that the insurance companies pay what they owe you. Injury attorney David Femininio and his team have been making insurance companies pay for almost 30 years, and he can help you with your injury case as well. David is ready to speak with you personally, and he's ready to speak with you right now if you just call 855-65-CRASH or go to his website, getdavidgetpaid.com. That phone number again, 855-65-CRASH or at getdavidgetpaid.com. Bill.
Keep blaring those goal horns. That's right. That's right. That's a jump off the couch moment. That's a yell at the TV kind of game. It was a tense game last night at Little Caesars Arena.
It's a fly your flag. Oh,
Really?
wait.
Really? Couple ticket texts on that. Cookies is wrong. Once it's given to him, it's his to do with what he wants. Mark in a car. New morning show. Thief and Jansen. You stole it, Cookies. Another one says if you gave Rico a Michigan State flag, he'd wear it as underwear.
Yeah. Or you could use it.
I gave it to him with the best of intentions.
Yeah.
And I realize stealing is bad, but he wasn't using it. And I'd do it again. Anyway, another one says, mark this down. That was a statement game, and this is a turning point. LGRW. Kyle and Dearborn.
It really does feel like it's a turning point. And maybe it's not a turning point. Maybe it's just a confirmation. A confirmation that they are going from hoping to be in the playoffs to expecting to be in the playoffs. That you can finally get behind them and think, hey, after so many years of and especially since Steve Yzerman has been back, the Yzer plan, we thought we were close last year. And what did the one ticket tester say? It was like 48 days that they were above the cut line, and ultimately, obviously, they didn't make it.
And this year it's 99 is what they said?
Yeah, but they eventually became sellers again last year. And now all of a sudden, as we're 2 weeks from the trade deadline, it's kind of that confirmation that this is a playoff team, that they're not going to be sellers. At worst, they stand pat because they already acquired Patrick Kane, and we saw the emotion that he had last night. 25 games in, hits his 10th goal. You feel like he's going to be picking up steam because he's now more comfortable playing with the Wings with his current teammates, and he's got to be more comfortable and confident coming off of the surgery that he had.
Yeah, people wanted to see, well, when would the Wings get their star? When would Yzerman draft his Kucherov or Braden Point that he found in the middle round, second and third rounds in Tampa? When would we see a young player break through as a star? Larkin, is he really ever going to be a star? Will it be Mo Seider? And they've asked him to do a lot this year, and he's not a star right now. They might have found their star unconventionally in Patrick Kane. He's not 40 years old. He's in his early 30s. He's coming off the hip procedure, but he looks good right now. He's 2 steps ahead of everybody on the ice, and it's not a stretch to say he is one of, if not the most gifted passer that's ever worn the wing wheel. He's certainly in that category, 800 career assists now, and if he has this second act to his career, he's on a 1-year deal now, but he's clearly part of this. If this is the second act of his career, where they extend him 2-3 years, he wants to be here, it's advantageous for both sides, it becomes the start of something. And now you start to fill in with these younger players, and you get them in playoff chases and playoff races, and you put them in a 7-game series or 7-game series plural, and you start to build something real here.
Yeah, and it's the experience that you're continuing to build as you're building and developing that youth. And some guys that aren't even here right now, but will be here next year to experience it, the year after to experience. And you mentioned it. You're filling in all those pieces around Kane, Larkin, all of these guys, so that you can have a sustainable run and start something new this year. That expectation that you're going to be a playoff team even before you get to the season.
Love it. Jake Brighton, you're on 97.1.
Happy Friday, gentlemen. It was a fun game to watch last night. As the father of a 3.5-year-old, I don't make it out on many school nights, and it's been a while since I've had a gang of boys get a text going and say, hey, let's get out and watch the Wings game together. So we did get out to a local watering hole, and it was exciting. I mean, there was lots of energy in the establishment that we attended, and I planned on going home. I was like, I'll just listen to Ken on the call on the way home, and then I forgot that they don't resurface in between the overtime session, so I was like, I can't miss this, and I'm glad I stuck around. Yeah, exactly. And we, I tell you, the whole place jumped up and down. We're high-fiving. It felt like a playoff game, and it's been a long time since we've had that here in Hockey Town, baby. And then I was just going to leave you guys with this one. I don't know if you'll have time, but we were debating, is Patrick Kane the greatest American-born player of all time? So we had some other names in there. Mike Modano was one, Brett Hull, obviously, but no, Kane, I mean, when you think about, too, that when he scored the gold medal winner for USA, that's a big point. But happy Friday. I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks for the call.
I mean, he's a conversation. I don't think he's number one, but his career's not over either.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a conversation.
Yeah.
One I'm not ready to defend right now, but you could certainly make that case.
Well, you don't have your list of all the greatest American hockey players ready to rank off 1 through 10 right now?
Well, there's another guy that's still early in his careers. In his careers. Yes, multiple careers. And that's Austin Matthews.
Oh, yep. Scores every night. 2-3 goals every single night. Toronto's on a heater.
We're looking at something right now that could be very special.
Yeah, I mean, he could end up in that 70-goal threshold. Listen this hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets. We've got Daniel Tosh live at the Fox Theater June 15th. Tickets on sale at Ticketmaster.com or LiveNation.com. LiveNation.com. What you're going to want to listen for. I can't believe we're doing this. You're going to want to listen for me saying cross-eyed nipples.
Oh, wait.
When you hear cross-eyed nipples, call in to win a pair of tickets to see Daniel Tosh live, Fox Theater, courtesy of Live Nation. Alrighty then. Heather with the news.
It's appropriate, right? Yep. Things get awkward. Throw it to me.
Uh-huh.
I was just reading this article about an argument that took place at a gym in Texas. And if you go to the gym right now, gyms are hot, right? Everyone's got these New Year's resolutions or working out, and it gets busy. And sometimes you have to wait for the equipment that you want to use. And there's kind of some etiquette, right? Like you can't hog it, but then you also need to make sure that person's finished with it before you jump on it. There's some rules all about that.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to go to the judgment-free zone.
That's right, John.
Cheap plug.
Apparently, there was some men got in an argument over a leg press machine at this gym, and in the locker room. Yeah, in the locker room, the guy that 69 years old was so upset by this other man who wanted to use the leg press machine that he pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the butt.
Stabbed him in the butt.
And
your glutes work now, buddy.
Ran through the gym yelling, "Who else wants some? Who else wants some?" And then
you want a piece of me. That's exactly what he was saying.
Did you say it became an arm day?
Yeah. Went from leg day to arm day.
Yeah.
By the way, machines most likely for guys to get in a fight over, I would think bench press and leg press 1 and 2. John, agreed? We're really flexing big weights and big egos.
Yeah, I think it's that, or you're working to curls for the girls.
Oh.
You stole my 55s.
Yeah. I've never
I
heard
didn't need
that.
them anyway. I wanted the 65s.
Oh, you haven't heard the
I've
curls?
never heard
the
curls for the girls.
Really? Yeah.
Okay, boys.
Our quarterback in high school got
showed you
obsessed
these,
with
man.
Yep. It's like, we all see where this is going.
My goodness. You guys, there's still some people out there that think the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift relationship is just a huge PR stunt.
He's in Melbourne right now.
I know. They went to the zoo together.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. I mean, if it is, they're taking it to very, very extreme measures.
They'd be committed to the bit.
Exactly. But there's a person on TikTok, and they posted this video that they say is proof that this whole thing is fake. They're faking the whole thing. And it's a video of him and Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl out. We've all seen the videos of them at this club, but there's this picture or this image of them, and it shows that he notices the cameras on them, puts on his sunglasses, whispers something in Taylor's ear, and then acts. Then all of a sudden his mood changes, his demeanor changes. It's like he knows he's being filmed, so he's going to act like they're having the best time of their life. And this person put in quotes what they believe they were both saying. And it's like, oh, the cameras are on us. Let's act it up, basically.
Yeah, but wouldn't they assume the cameras are always on them?
They're always there. Yes. And then everybody in the comments basically says, yes, this is a PR relationship. 100% fake. Right. We don't believe it. I do. I think it's real. Whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah.
If it's not real,
so be
it seems a little silly to go this far, but whatever. I guess. Whatever. If you're looking to do something a little different the next time you want to take a little Great Lakes adventure, this could be it. It's kind of cool. You can stay in a historic lighthouse on Lake Huron for $50 a night. So
this sounds amazing.
Not too expensive. And it's also really unique because this lighthouse is an offshore lighthouse. The only way you can get to this lighthouse is by boat.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think it's like the only one like this that's in existence still, that's still functioning. And they have this like innkeepers program.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an expansion of that is what they're doing. I mean, when you go and stay, I don't think you'd be expected to clean and take care of it, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it was built in 1931. Something to look into.
I think
it's
it would be amazing.
Where's the name of the Detour Reef Lighthouse? So pretty cool to check out. Yeah. Also, good news. We've got some record heat coming next week.
It's been unbelievable in February
It's
so far.
amazing. So typical February temperatures are in about mid 30s. Okay. Like that's average for Michigan in mid February. Next week, Tuesday, 60 degrees or even upper 60s.
Yeah, we've already had a couple of days. I know the truck has said it's been 60. I don't know if it's actually, hit that officially or whatnot, but like baseball practice. It's normally indoors at this time of the year. The baseball teams have already been outside a couple of times, maybe again tonight, next week.
Yep.
It's unbelievable to think that you're having this opportunity in February.
I love it.
Me too.
Keep it coming. Wednesday as well, another record high. So we're going to have back-to-back record high days. They say that in February in Michigan is bizarre.
I was gonna say it's like Mayweather at that point.
I love it.
Yep.
Perfect. Heather with the news. Coming up next, Lions have a solution at kicker. 97.1. Dive into the best pool in history. We're talking Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. You catch all the biggest games at a viewing experience built for sports fans. Chill in one of the 6 pools on the 3 different levels. Perfect view of that massive 40-foot tall high-definition screen. It's Stadium Swim. It's America's favorite place to watch football or playoff hockey. Swim up bars, Insta-ready selfie walls, and a one-stop shop football party. Score your perfect game day spot with the cozy day beds, the private cabanas, or grab a lounge at the center of the action. Reserve your place today. It's 365 days of sports poolside, located at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Check it out. Stadium Swim, all sports, all seasons. Book your spot today, circalasvegas.com. We've talked a lot of hockey today. If you missed any of it, Odyssey app, Odyssey Rewind, go back. Just about every hour we hit on this team. We're excited. One of the other storylines, John, a solution at kicker for the Detroit Lions. It's a question. I don't think it's a definitive. Michael Badgley comes back. He hit the 54-yarder to win the playoff game. Do you feel like they have their solution at kicker?
No, I don't. But I don't know that this is a sign that they think they have a solution at kicker. The solution last year was, let's have an ongoing competition throughout the course of the year between a couple of guys that bounced in between, being the Lions, being a part of the 53 versus the practice squad. And heads up, when they were part of the practice squad, the other 31 teams didn't want them either.
Right.
They could have been taken off of the practice squad by anyone, and they weren't. So it's not like they're coveted. They signed Michael Badgley to a 1-year deal. If they had signed him to anything longer, that would have raised an eyebrow. This is, hey, we want to have a kicker on the roster. We want to know that we have somebody that can go out there and kick off and do extra points. Actually, I think Fox does the kickoffs. But but if we find a better option after the draft or somebody else for
Gets
whatever
cut
reason gets
kicker
cut,
battle.
all of a sudden, hey, we can have a competition, or we can just cut Michael Badgley and move on to whatever kicker would be next. This is a nothing burger for me.
I think people want an upgraded kicker.
Sure, everybody does.
But I don't think it's going to do what people think it's going to do. I think there is a group of Lions fans who believe if they upgrade the kicker, Dan Campbell will kick more field goals. In other words, there's this belief that because they can't trust Badgley, Campbell's going for it so much. I think it's the opposite. I think he's going for it because he wants to, not because he doesn't trust his kicker. And I think if he trusted his kicker, he still would make those decisions. A 4th and 2 or a 4th and 3, he can justify because of his personnel, his offensive line. He can justify because of the run game and Ben Johnson scheming guys open, putting defenses in tough places. You motion somebody over, you give them one look, you set something up all game. They feel very confident, short yardage, converting 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I think they would feel confident whether they had Adam Vinatieri or Michael Badgley, Justin Tucker or Riley Patterson. Yep. I think they make the decisions the same. So if you're of the belief they need to upgrade a kicker to change Dan Campbell, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't think that's happening. But to your point, John, yeah, you want a kicker you can trust from 48, 49. You want a guy where if you're getting right to midfield late in a game and a field goal wins it, you want to know you've got that in your back pocket as opposed to someone who you're a little less confident in that may force you into bad decisions.
Well, at some point, they're going to be in a position, and whether it's a playoff game, it's to win a division, it's to win an NFC championship game, maybe win a Super Bowl, that you get the ball back, you're down 2, and there's only 32 seconds and no timeouts left on the clock. And you've got to find a way to get in field goal range. Now, getting in field goal range, do you have to get to the 30? Do you have to get to the 35? Do you have to get to the 40? Like, those are all... That's when this matters. It doesn't matter throughout the course of the season because you're right. It's not going to change the decisions that Dan Campbell makes. It's that game-winning field goal that we saw Justin Tucker come in for because there was no time left on the clock. Yeah. They were down. They had no choice. They had to kick an NFL record field goal to win a game.
Yeah, that's where a great kicker can make a difference. Now, in terms of like the investment level in the position, are you someone who, like the Niners used a pick on a kicker last year in Jake Moody? There's a couple kickers like the one out of Alabama who's...
Nobody this year raises to the level of, I think they'll be good enough, especially good enough next year, to go out and use a draft pick on.
Okay. So then it's Badgley / cut candidates, survey the landscape. This is what it is.
Well, okay. So, or you can, use... You don't draft a kicker, but you invite one of them as an undrafted free agent because I think most of these guys, I don't know that any of these guys are draftable this year.
Yeah, if you don't have one of the better kickers, it's almost like goalies in hockey. If you don't have one of the better ones, you're better off keeping your options open. Last year, the Lions toggled the two of them with the practice squad elevations. They didn't even use a spot on a kicker late in the season. They were just using practice squad elevations to have a rostered kicker on game day. That may be more of their thought. If we can't have a great kicker, we'll just keep trying out guys and keep competition healthy into the season because it's not like they picked a kicker this year and said, his job the whole way through. They switched kickers late in the season.
Yeah.
It was, I think, the Denver game, if I remember right, when Badgley started taking over and becoming the everyday kicker.
Or, I mean, when we talk about the draft, you're not going to draft one, but all of a sudden, hey, nobody does, and you decide that you want to bring in one of those kickers that are, whether it's the kid from Missouri, and I forget his name. I don't really care about kickers' names anyway. It's a kid from Missouri, the kid from Alabama, and there's a couple of others out there that you say, okay, well, we would love to have them come in and compete with our kicker, Mike, with Badgley.
I feel like if you ran a team, the kicker wouldn't even have his name on the back of the jersey. You'd be like, that kicker guy from Missouri.
Yeah, he'd have the single bar. I mean, you would know it was a kicker without having to know that he had a jersey number. But here's the thing, is if you think one of those guys can be your kicker or you want to create that competition, then if none of them are drafted, it's a matter of how do I convince that kicker to come to Detroit? Well, part of that is our kicker's not very good. So if you come here and you're decent, we'll probably keep you. Or here's a little bit of upfront money. Here's $150,000. Come on over here to Detroit. That's probably all it would take, and it's not a huge investment. If it doesn't work out and they suck, then so what? You move on.
John, I'm in the possession of something.
Oh, really?
This is a mock draft.
A flag?
No, I wish. I
better check and see.
By the way, I got a text from one of the producers on the afternoon show said you're never getting the flag back. Period. Ended with a period.
Wow. Oh, period. Well, at least it wasn't an exclamation point.
Well, no, but like text.
Yes.
If you end with a period, it's stern point.
Oh, was it all caps?
No, it was not.
Oh.
So I'm not in the possession of a flag. I am in possession of a mock draft that I've been told is porn for John Jansen.
Oh.
What I want to do is go through this with you.
Okay, wait, where is it? Because I'm not going to look at it. I just want to get it on.
You don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about it. It was sent to me, and I'm going to go through it here, and I'm just going to get your reaction, okay?
Yeah.
Some notables. This is a mock draft from CBS Sports, reputable. Don't Google it. You're fine. Caleb Williams, number 1. Jaden Daniels, number 2, via trade up from the Falcons. That's not what I'm talking about. Drake May, a trade up from the Vikings to number 4. So a lot of QBs. J.J. McCarthy, trade up for the Steelers at number 9. Still not what I'm talking about. Scroll. What did the Detroit Lions do in this draft? John Jansen. The Detroit Lions select Mike Sainristil, cornerback out of Michigan, 29th overall.
So I know nobody wants to hear this from me, and I wouldn't take him probably at 29. I would go with my boy out of West Virginia, the center.
Frazier.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and I talked about this during the season as Mikey Sainristil was making plays, making hits, getting after quarterbacks, that in the general managers and scouts that I talked to throughout the season, that he was improving his draft stock enough that they wouldn't be surprised to see somebody late in the first round take Mike Sainristil. Now, I think there's going to have to be some work done at the combine. He's going to have to run a really good time because if you're taking in the first round, you're expected to be a cover corner. I don't know that is – I think he can be, and he could be a very effective one. I don't know that will be his strong suit. So he's going to have to show that he's got the speed. And if he does, I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the end of the first round.
But what does he have to run as a 5'9" corner? And maybe I'm being generous. What does he have to run? Like a 4.3? To be a first round pick. I mean, if he runs like a 4.45, you go, okay. I mean, requisite speed, but nothing special. Yeah.
So who? Greg, help me. Last year, who ran the fastest time?
DJ Turner.
It was 4.2 something.
Of course, another Michigan corner.
Well, I mean, facts are facts.
Okay,
I'm just telling about the fastest time at the combine.
Pointing out that you felt the need to bring it up, but anyway.
Okay, and if he does run a time like that, because we were all surprised that DJ Turner ran that time. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it was.
And by the way, the facts are that he did run the fastest time at the combine. So if Mikey Sainristil were to surprise, now is he going to run a 4.2 something? No, I don't see that. But if he runs a 4.35, then yeah, all of a sudden people start looking at it going, oh, let me look a little closer at his film. Let me look and see, is there something that I missed? And I don't know necessarily what they look like, but they'll find out at the Combine.
The Underwear Olympics. That starts next week, by the way.
Yes.
Combine underway next week. 248-539-9797. All right, little football chatter. I'm not going to overdo the mock, especially this early into the process, but thought you would appreciate your guy getting all the way into the late first round and to the Detroit Lions.
Hey, you win a national championship. You have good players. Going to have some draft picks.
So they say. It's 97-1.
Hey, you know what? You want to talk about the judgment-free zone? It doesn't matter which way they point when you go to the judgment-free zone, which is obviously at Planet Fitness. It's a squeaky clean gym. And if you're short on time, don't worry about it. You can get a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the Planet Fitness 30-minute circuit. You can get all this for just $10 a month. There's no commitment, and it's just $10 a month. And if you want something more, right now, they've got a deal going on for the Black Card. It's just $1 down, and there's no commitment. So hurry in today. You've only got a couple of more days to make that happen. And here's what you get. You're going to upgrade to the Planet Fitness Black Card and enjoy all of the amenities, such as unlimited use of the Black Card spa featuring hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, tanning beds. They've got it all. And you get access to 2,400 locations nationwide and unlimited guest privileges. And then talk about nationwide. If you don't travel very much, but you're just in the southeast Michigan here, they've got 50 different Metro Detroit locations. I've been to about 5 or 6 of them, and they're all, I mentioned it, started off with squeaky clean. Love going there. If you want to find out more about the deals that they have going on, go to your local Planet Fitness, or you can find them on the web at planetfitness.com.
wrapping up Friday for us. Getting everybody into the weekend. Biggest story for us today has been the Red Wings. A story we probably would have spent more time on if the Wings didn't win. The Tigers adding Gio Urshela. John, when I saw this yesterday, this was when we got off the air, I was a little confused by it. And nothing against Gio. Duke can play all over the infield.
Yeah.
But I'm a little confused. Do they view him as a third baseman on this team, or did they throw him in the bucket of guys who can just play everywhere? Like, what is the plan with him?
I think he's a guy that they're going to use to fill in all over, and they'll rotate him through and around when needed at third base, because you're going to have, it's basically going to be, who's the rotation there? Vierling, Urshela,
Ibanez,
yeah,
McKinstry, although I think McKinstry may end up being the odd man out. I mean, they're all about these utility guys who can play all over the diamond. I saw, Urshela's a good, not great, but good defensive option at third base, and he hits lefties well. That was the reporting when he got signed, is he can play third and he can hit lefties, and he only cost $1 million. That last line, I keep circling back to, why does it matter that he only costs $1 million? Payroll's down. They haven't reinvested the Miggy and Erod money. If they are serious about addressing third base with a guy who plays defense and hits lefties, Matt Chapman's out there. Cost a hell of a lot more than $1.5 million, but he remains unsigned, and spring training has started. And he doesn't have to sign with the team today, but in the next couple weeks, he's going to sign somewhere, and I don't think it's going to be a super long-term deal. He's holding out. Clearly, that deal hasn't presented itself. If the Tigers wanted someone to occupy third base at an elite level defensively, there's an option. And I know the knocks are he's not a Harris guy from the strike zone standpoint, but yet if you combined on base and slugging, he's every bit the same down to the final decimal point as Canna, the bat they are excited they added. So, listen.
I know you're frustrated.
I'm frustrated. It's nothing against Gio. It's nothing against developing homegrown players. All that sounds good. I just don't like the slow playing from the front office.
Well, okay, so there's a couple things going on. Slow playing. All of those guys are still out there. And until they sign somewhere else, and then waiting to see what they sign for, does Chapman sign for a 3 or a 4-year deal somewhere else? Same thing with Martinez, with Bellinger.
Yeah.
All of these guys, do they sign somewhere else for a year? And if they sign for a year, how much are they signing for? Could that have been the Detroit Tigers? That's when I'll start to get upset that they were able to get rid of an albatross in terms of salary.
Yeah.
And they didn't replace that with anything. They're way under the league average in terms of payroll. But here's the other thing, and here's something to just keep an eye on. Just like we saw with the Lions, and they've emphasized they've got a plan, but one of the things that they've emphasized is the chemistry, the locker room. What type of individuals are they putting into the culture of this team? Now, they've been pretty successful at doing that and managing that. Jalen Carter, a lot of us here wanted him. I don't remember where you were with Jalen Carter.
I did not like him.
Okay, so Jalen Carter was a guy, obviously had some off-the-field issues. They decided not to go that route because it wasn't going to be a fit in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Again, NFC Championship game, year 3, Brad Holmes. It's the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, Scott Harris, he came in preaching, we value the strike zone. From the pitchers, we got to have guys that throw strikes.
Yep.
We've got to have guys at the plate that value the strike zone, that understand where it is, when to swing, when not to. We got to get on base, whether it's walks, hits, whatever it is. Do these guys fit that mold? Because they have a clear philosophy.
They do, and Canna fits it more than Chapman. And I get that.
So but
early
on,
you have a hole at third base that has largely been ignored. No disrespect to Urshela, but come on,
I agree.
He's not half the player.
But early on, you've got to set a tone. You've got to hold to your philosophy. At some point, you've got to get outside that. There's got to be somebody that you say, you know what, they're just going to add something that we don't have right now. We need, so let's go get them. But we've established our culture. And they're trying to do that right now. So I somewhat understand. Now, if we get to the season and third base becomes a huge liability in terms of glove in the field or bat at the plate.
And you see someone like Chapman sign the 1 year, $25 million to play
then
somewhere
there's no
else.
excuse
You're
for
going
it.
to go, why were we penny pinching,
and they're
payroll?
productive.
Right. And instead we're hearing, you hate when I bring this up, But instead, we're hearing about investments in things like team planes and showers, when the real investment that I think fans want to hear about is in the product on the field.
I've got to see, and the reason I don't care about the whole shower or the plane is, did they do that instead of signing Chapman? Did they update their showers instead of going and getting Bellinger?
Or, but it's
right, but
it's optics, though.
That's all it is optics. But I don't care about optics. I don't care what they do with the plane or with the showers. That to me is irrelevant. Now, what are they doing with the roster? What are they doing with the payroll? If these guys are still out there and they end up signing a 1-year deal for, I mean, let's just say Chapman for what, 20, 22, 23?
Yeah, what I would tell you is if you got Bellinger, Martinez, and Chapman all without deals, they're going to have to be open to 1- and 2-year deals and options and opt-outs.
There's no option for them not to be in the Major League Baseball this year.
Right, and by the way, those kind of deals also make sense for a Tigers team that doesn't want to overcommit to guys when they have players that they're developing themselves. In theory, it would be a perfect fit, but the fit hasn't really even been discussed seriously. We were told that there wasn't enough at-bats available for everydayers.
Yeah,
I just have some questions.
Well, those things haven't been discussed with us, and I don't know about you. I mean, I don't think I'm on the speed dial for Scott Harris to say, hey, we've had the discussion with Matt Chapman, just to give you the heads up.
Yeah, we're not going to get looped in on that.
No.
By the way, we got a winner on the Daniel Tosh tickets. It's Tim in Sterling Heights. He won. He heard Cross-Eyed Nipples, and he called in. He's going to see Daniel Tosh, Fox Theater, June 15th, Ticketmaster.com, LiveNation.com, if you want to get your hands on a pair of those tickets.
Just the tickets?
Not the nipples.
Just a question.
Doug Karsh is coming to the studio. Doug, how you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. I'm doing
made it.
great. Doing real good. You guys?
Well, I mean, we're probably off a little better off because in about 4 minutes, I'm heading home.
Weekend starts.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, in about 4 minutes, we'll be launched into some serious talk about our hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
How exciting is this?
I mean, honestly, it's cool. It's refreshing. It does have a freshness to it because we've been out of the playoffs for 7 years. They haven't won a playoff series in a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got me rethinking some things. Let's just say that. We talked about them earlier in the week, but now I'm rethinking some things.
That powerful, huh? Last night?
Yeah, kind of. You don't want to overreact, but it feels like it's the kind of win that instills some faith. It was funny. Yesterday, I was walking through the office, and Kenny Cott, who answers phones, big hockey guy, and does some hockey coverage with us. I was walking through, and he said, Doug, if they win tonight, I'm ready to overreact. And I said, are you? I said, did you overreact when they beat Vancouver, coming out of the All-Star break? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah, and so obviously they didn't lock up a playoff spot last night, but it kind of feels like it's a confirmation that we can be excited about a playoff race.
Well, it was a year ago on the calendar right now when they went through a 7-game stretch and only got 1 point, and Yzerman pulled the plug. And that was like the worst case scenario, right at crunch time, right before the trade deadline. They had the worst case scenario. But what has me rethinking is, what if that's the best case scenario? And it could be. We could see the start of that coming out of the All-Star break, really.
You talk about a moment from last night after the game. Did you see Kane when he did the skate around for the 3 stars?
Yep.
He was emotional.
You know what's funny? I didn't notice it. And I heard you say that on my drive in today, and I'm like, oh, did I miss that? Because I'm usually looking for stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't notice
well
it
done,
either.
Costa.
Yeah. Well, and you go, this guy's won Stanley Cups. It's a regular, but that is another, the mounting evidence that something is afoot, as you guys would say.
Yeah, something's different. And after the game, they talked about it. You'll hear some of that throughout the first hour.
All right, Carson Anderson coming up next. Hockey Talk, about damn time. 97.1.
Gator, I'm going to quote one of the legends in our town who once said the following. There are wins, and then there are wins. That legend being George Blaha. And while Blaha was never the play-by-play voice of the Detroit Red Wings, I'm applying it to their win last night. And forgive us if we overreact. And I don't even really care if we're overreacting. I thought that was a big moment in the season to be down 1-0 late and have the captain come through with a goal in the third period. Have the Red Wings shut down one of the best power plays in the NHL. One of the most high-flying, high-scoring teams in the NHL. Hold them to 1 goal to go to overtime. And then have the captain with a beautiful feed to another legend that they have repurposed here in Detroit, and he gets the game winner. A gently used Patrick Kane pops it in net, and the Red Wings get a 2-1 win over one of the best teams in the NHL. Boom, shakalaka. LGRW.
That was a great win. That was a great win all around. I mean, Alex Lyon played amazing in net. Stopped a million chances. It felt like there were a million chances, even though when you look at the actual shot totals, they weren't that bad. But they were quality chances. He just kept turning away, and the Red Wings just keep biding their time. Missed an opportunity here, missed an opportunity. Okay, just bide the time, and then they tied it up, forced the overtime, get the W on a great play. Dylan Larkin draws a couple of the Avalanche players and just flips it behind his back, and there's Patrick Kane, and boom. Or as you said, boom shakalaka.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really nice win, exercising the demons of 7 years since the last time they beat Colorado. It's been 10 games. It's a very important extra point that they get, so they get 2 points for the win. They now have 66, which puts them 1 point ahead of Tampa. So now the Red Wings are in wild card 1 spot, not wild card 2. Now they're in wild card 1, and they sit 6 points behind Toronto in the division. But they are playing really, really solid and sound hockey, and it's fun to watch. And the crowd last night was appropriately
James at the top 1, 2, 3, 4 are very start getting into the back half of that list.